All right, welcome back. We have the follow-up here to the unboxing. We should have slightly improved audio and visual too. So we'll get some close-ups here in case you need that. And long story short, it's all it's cracked up to be. Set in backplate there, two-piece solid flame maple top. Nice little routes and neck tenon in there. I'll put some pictures of that in there as we go. Pretty thick ebony board. The neck joint looks like that. I don't see why they couldn't go deeper on that. But there it is. And there it is. I will say, as a Yank, as an American, probably one of the things these guitars have going against them is that it says fame, and we don't like people who are hungry for fame. It seems like it's kind of a cultural thing. Maybe the word has a different connotation here, but you know what? You put on your clip-on tuner, it says fam. It's all good. Everyone loves the fam. But that said, yeah, I'll put up some pictures, as I said, of the inners, the interesting shots. Seymour Duncan pickups. I think it's a jazz in the neck, or more of a rock one in the bridge. I like that it has a switch. It's a little thicker. Let's get into some of this stuff. One of the reasons I was into this guitar was it's a little thicker than like a PRS in this style. And to me, that's kind of what I was going for. There's like a girthiness in like an actual Les Paul that I was not getting from any PRSs that I tried. So this is 55 millimeters for the European audience. Or, yeah, about 2.1 inches, 54 millimeters on there. The neck was about a 0.81 at the heel there. It's got the nice little volute, as we mentioned. Yeah, I think it was 0.8 to 0.9. And they call this a D shape, so it's not the slim neck like you'd get on that PRS there. It's got the wide. The D to me means the sides are a little fatter. The corners are not as smooth as a C. So that's what you're looking at there. But I thought we would talk about some of that stuff. And just general, the vibe on this one for me, why I thought it was worth a try. It is not. It's made by the Mayonnaise Company, which makes really high-end stuff out of Gdansk in Poland. So this is kind of their second-tier shop in the Czech Republic. I'm assuming labor prices are a little cheaper there. But what I really like about this is they saved in the right places. You know, it's not a super glossy finish. There's no veneers. They used the best quality components they could, and they left it a nice kind of simple, rough and ready finish here. Maybe one of the only places they kind of cheaped out on was this got smaller pots in there. Some people don't like that on the reviews of these. But I'm into it overall. It's subtle differences from a PRS. You know, to me, this is what maybe a 594 should have been, or they should have offered a 24 fret option. But I'll play some of this. If we get rolling, maybe I'll compare it to some of the alternatives that I'm comparing this against, like an Epiphone Les Paul or the PRS Custom 24. But that's what it is. I just want to get this started that way. This is what the finish looks like. It's not perfect. It doesn't follow the maple and mahogany seam exactly there. There's like one little spot of spillover. I was questioning whether this was actually a solid top for a minute, but if you see this little imperfection in the top there, shows through to the edge, and the flame is it's really hard to bring that out with whatever finish they used. I put some water and some oil on there, and but I'm pretty confident it's a nice flamey top. So that's it. Let's put on some music. We'll get some tones. I'm going through the Mesa Boogie Mark 535. You're hearing the direct out. We'll get a beat going. We'll get some loops going. Some different sounds. So if you're new to my channel, I'm more of a jam band guy. I'm not playing a bunch of metal riffs. I like the drum loops, I like the trance, I like the, you know, going on a journey. So we're all about finding great tones for making the journey more enjoyable. And the other reason, the reason I made a point to plug in the Mesa today, even though I'm using the clean channel, especially with the looping, if you dirty up the bass line on the loops, it's not really doing much. We'll do some more with it. Sure. The compressor on and a tube screamer going into it, very much the Trey Anastasio style thing. I'm going to put it on the bridge pickup. I turned off the compressor because I want to highlight the coil tap. And I'll turn off the overdrive too. Bring back kind of a light overdrive. And we're back to humbucker. Nice and dynamic. They clean up well too. I'll put on a lot of gain. That's humbucker. Now single coil. So I really like, that was one of the things I didn't expect. The coil tap sound on this is, I don't know if it's a tap or a split. It's really impressive to me. So that's it. Fame Form 4 Classic. do a couple more singing sustain stuff. I've done a lot of hollow bodies on my channel where I try to get that Trey Anastasio thing. Thought we heard it there for a second. Anyway, we'll switch over. We'll probably do a little edit jump cut here. So we're back. So this is an Epiphone. So another import if you're in the U.S. But this I really like. I had one U.S. Gibson, proper Gibson Les Paul, not custom shop or anything, but I really liked it after a while. Like I hadn't played a lot of Gibsons before, or at least in a long time. And I really got it. There's kind of like an internal resonance, I would say, with like the heavy body and something about the neck heel versus a lot of the longer scale stuff I had played, hollow bodies and Strat style stuff. And this was one, in terms of Epiphone, this was the first real import style Gibson that was talking to me. And this is all mahogany, but it has that thing. And without the maple top, there's kind of a sponginess to it. So it has some of that internal resonance thing, but it's different. The pickups don't sound great in certain situations. The fretwork is not as good, but this is a much cheaper guitar. This is this is the traditional Pro 4. This is like a $400 guitar, maybe $500 with tax if it was new. I got it used. Someone passed on it, and I really like it for going out to jams and stuff. I don't really have to worry about any damage to it. And that's a little bit the thing on the Fame too. It's in that price range, like $1,000 is like. I'm not that worried about it. It's not going to be a problem if something happens to it at a gig where I'm going to be like, oh man. Like if I brought out my Les Paul, which I don't play a ton, and it's kind of heavy to take out live. If something happened to that, if I broke the headstock, I knew like I'd lose a lot of value on reselling it, or if it got stolen, I'd be really bummed because. You know, in a pinch, you could turn it around and get a good amount of money out of it. So we'll do a little bit on this because these do have the kind of LP thing. And there is, I was hoping when I got the Fame, there was going to be more of that because of the thicker body and some of the other. But it really does have a lot more of the PRS style. I mean, look at it. But again, I like the... It's really obvious where the savings are, and it's really obvious that they tried to hold on to the right things. You know, if you're saving money on labor, like why not make the best thing you can? Like why skimp on parts as well? So I think it's a cool concept, and I like the satin thing. This is a satin. The satin thing's kind of trendy now. And so I'm all about it. If it's a trend, if it's a cost savings thing, whatever. But bring it on, as far as I'm concerned. But let's hear some of this too, just to see what's going on. I'll bring the beat back. Here's the coil split on this one. I'll turn the compressor off. That's really going to mask a lot of the... Yeah. So to me, that sounds like a Les Paul. And I'm not quite getting that from the Fame, but no shade on it. It does do the PRS thing really well. So surprise, surprise. But let's cut over to the Custom 24. It's going to be a little different. It has the floating bridge. All right, and we're back. So this is a SE, made in Indonesia, Custom 24. And this was the first guitar that really... I've played a lot of PRSs, but this one was like, oh, that's what a PRS is. It's just a good example of a Custom 24. We'll hear their split as well. It's all neck. All right, we're shining today. Yeah, and I picked this guitar up, and it's some days it's not always talking to me though. So I don't know. I'm thinking about bringing the bridge down, since it's floating a little bit now, which is extra unfair to their set neck counterparts or their hardtail counterparts. But I mean, it's doing a good thing. But again, it's a veneer. I don't know how many pieces. It's at least 3 pieces of mahogany on the back. And I'm not too picky about that. I mean, but it's like a nice glossy finish. But to me, the vibe of the Fame is, I do think the satin thinner finish resonates better. I just like the vibe of it better in some ways. But I mean, hey, if this always sounds good when I plug it in like that, why not? We'll see how it sounds on the editing and keep it in. Hey, and while we're at it, we're going to do one more PRS because I've got another one in the studio right now. And we're talking kind of the Les Paul sound and what kind of compromises you make. I haven't shown this one on the channel before. It was for sale locally at a very good price. Let's go. All right, and we're back. Man. So this is the Singlecut 594, which is thicker than the double cut, and the neck is thicker too. And I've sanded it down a little bit to like a satiny thing to try to get some of the feel I've been enjoying on some more of the true satin finishes. And I put these lampshade knobs on myself. We'll go back to the Fame. All right, there we go. So we're rocking out with a few different guitars. Let me know what you think. Let me know if there's anything else you want to know about this one. Kind of got a lot of this style guitar in the studio right now, so I thought I'd give it a good rundown and compare it to some of the other alternatives you might be looking at. Especially, I went for this one. I missed a couple used that were more affordable. They're not really well known in the States. And I think I got the last round before the tariffs kicked in. So I got this one new. It's all shiny and, well, it's not shiny. It's all satiny and new. This is how it came from the factory. The setup was good. I put 11s on it. I still like the setup. It's actually closer to the way I would have it. So there it is. Let me know what you think about the comparisons. What sounds better? What sounds good? Any pros or cons about the different guitars in this video. Stay tuned. We're going to get to some other stuff coming up pretty soon. My name's Dave. It's Mountain Branch Music. Have a good one. Bye.